So thanks. Welcome everyone to the live session. Today we have Daniel. He's a CTR expert, Facebook ads expert. If you stalk him a little bit on Instagram, you'll see he has a lot of images on really high return on ad spend, good results. And so I think we're gonna have a good discussion today on, just how you started. I think that I'm interested also in how you're managing the whole personal brand versus setting up a program. So it'll be a good discussion. So thanks again and welcome, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here today. I'm very happy and very excited to talk with you.
Are you in Austria, Germany, or are you in Spain?
No, I'm in Barcelona.
Oh, you're in Barcelona as well. So it's probably what, like six,
Yes.
7 o'clock there?
What do you mean?
It's probably 6, 7 o'clock in the night.
Yes, we have six now.
Okay, nice. So yeah, thanks again for joining. Why don't we go ahead and start and tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I went online and I saw, when you go to Instagram and you go to your page, there's a bunch of different programs and things you've done. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I think, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about my story. I think it's a long story, but I try to put it in a short way. So, yeah, normally I had a long way to become an online marketer or entrepreneur because normally I'm a car mechanic actually,
Okay.
and I'm an ex-soldier, and I was 4 years at the military in Germany, and then I had this one friend. He was also a soldier who asked me, "Do you want to sell insurances?" And then I started selling insurances in a multi-level marketing, and yeah, there I realized that I'm good in selling. So I canceled my contract with the military and was selling insurances. So I think after two years approximately, I changed. I met a new mentor. He made this kind of selling licenses, like franchise licenses, and in marketing actually. And that was my beginning with marketing, and that was my first company. Yeah, I was broke then with that company with over 100,000 euros in debt, so I had to start new. And then
Okay.
I started with Google 360. I think many of you guys know that when you go into a company, you can do it with Google Maps directly. So I was making that with a photographer together, and yeah, then I killed my debt. So yeah, I was profitable again, and it worked super good. And after a while, I realized, okay, maybe to make the next level, I can combine these two businesses I made before, so which my mentor made before, selling licenses, and use my marketing concept to sell it as a license also. So my business partner in that time was telling me like, man, it's not fucking McDonald's, but I was like, okay, let's try it. Maybe it will work. And in that time, I started also to generating leads with Facebook ads to getting new clients for the Google 360, and also for the clients. I wanted to sell my concept, so my license. And yeah, then I was living in Bulgaria, and from Varna, from my living room, I was making in that year over 500,000 euros in revenue. At the phone, I was selling the license for 30,000 euros per license, was making 15 licenses. So for me and my business partner, it was divided by two people. We had actually a good year. And yeah, the next year on it, I was trying to sell everything what I had. So I just put my laptop into a backpack and was traveling a whole year around the world: Bali, Thailand, Lombok, USA, everywhere. And yeah, exactly 1 year ago, I was arriving here in Barcelona. And in the time 2019 where I was traveling, I started a little bit with affiliate marketing and stuff like that, because I was thinking maybe it's possible to make everything automated and get this total passive income and stuff like that. Made a lot of mistakes in that year also. And then last year, yeah, I started with a CTR accelerator, because parallel I was always making consulting to other companies, and I was telling them how to make marketing, how to generating leads and all that stuff. And they was asking me like, Daniel, can you tell me how can I make that? And I was like, okay, I make a video for you. And after a while I had so many videos, so I decided, okay, I will make all the videos new in a good way, so they have to look very good. And then the CTR accelerator was born, more or less. And yeah, that was the thing where we started the CTR accelerator.
That's pretty cool. And then because I think a lot of us and a lot of people in our community are also wondering, either how do you start your own business, or, how do you generate passive income, especially now with COVID things changing so much. What worked with you? Or are you still doing affiliate marketing, or that's just done?
No, I'm done with affiliate marketing. I want to have everything in my hand, I don't want to, I don't want to have or getting money from other people, so I just want to run my own business. I mean, with other companies and so on.
And what was the biggest lesson from doing affiliate marketing? Like, why did you, or why are you not doing it? And what were the biggest things that you're like, all right, this just sucks?
Yeah.
Because there's so many actually, right? I'm like, make $10,000 in a day with affiliate marketing. I think it's like people sell it as if it's easy, and it's actually harder than what it looks like, I think.
Yeah, it's very hard, because actually the vendors are coming to you and they are just like, okay, give me traffic if you want, but if it's not working, it doesn't matter for me because it's not my money, So that kind of, it's not working super good. So you have to make very exclusive partnerships with people you are really trusted in, because sometimes we had also, we was putting a lot of own money into our affiliate marketing, and after a while the vendor was like, okay, our company is broke now and you will never get your money. So we was reinvesting for about 6 months all of our money we earned with them, because we want to scale, of course. And after 6 months he was telling us like, hey, our company is broke, so you will never get your money back. So yeah, it was like over half year of work for nothing, So that's actually just a few things you have to look at when you make affiliate marketing. And also the other thing is like, you need the pixel and stuff like that to make a good marketing. And with the when you make affiliate marketing, most of the vendors are like, no, I cannot implement your pixel and I cannot do this and that. So yeah.
And then how did you started getting clients? And I'm interested in, because you mentioned that you started selling insurance and you did really well there. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to spend my savings, go travel the world, take a year off and party and go crazy, I would imagine. And then you come back, and then how did you start that transition into, all right, I need to do something else? And how did you start getting into consulting as well? Because I think that's the biggest questions that we get is, how do you land that first client, and how do you get your foot in the door, especially when, when we all started, like, we had no experience, right? You had experience running like some stuff, and it's different when you start working with clients. How did you start landing those consulting jobs?
Yeah, actually I had two ways that I made. One was the performance marketing. I'm not doing that anymore. I make that with an agency together. And the other thing is like the consulting. And you will laugh, I get my first clients with affiliate marketing because I was telling my vendor or my vendors, more of them, like, hey guys, I don't want to work with you together because I don't want to put my money into your business and being like, oh, I hope I will get the money back or something like this. So there was like, okay, Daniel, we make a lot of good results with you, so let's make another deal. We will give you the ad spend for that, and on the other side you will earn money when you make good performance. So I was like, okay, maybe, why not? And later I was put also a fixum on it, and there I get the clients for performance marketing. And the other thing was, I was working with an agency. I met them in Bulgaria. In that time there was two guys, and they started an agency. And first they had just a few little clients, but then they became to get really, really big. And today there are over 35 people there. They are now in Cologne. Yeah, and I'm with them from the beginning. And since the first time they get bigger clients, the clients was asking like, hey, can you make also Facebook and Instagram marketing? And they was asking me, hey man, do you want to do that with us? And for me, it was like, okay, perfect. I'm self-employed, but I can get big companies for me as a reference testimonial or whatever. And that was the beginning with the performance marketing part. And then after a while, I had so many performance deals that I cannot handle all of them. And I was like, okay, but I really want to help you. So let's make a consulting. I can help you with consulting, but you have to make your own ads because I see you have a little bit of experience, so you can do that. And then it became that I make consulting. So that was my two ways. But today I just make the consulting part, and I'm always in this agency. I'm always working with them together. So they have many big projects, and I make the performance consulting in that part. So I'm into the projects, and I get a percentage amount of everything there.
And then for those people who are listening who are new, what do you mean by performance marketing?
Performance marketing for me is more or less that when you are making ads, for example, and you get paid by your performance. So if you make a higher revenue, you will get more money. You can do it also as in service, but for me it was never interesting to make it as in service because I don't like to get from a client 1,000 euros and I make 1 million or 10 million for them. I want to earn the money, like when I make more, I want to earn more.
Yeah.
And then I changed it, so I call it performance consulting. It's the same like performance marketing, but I never touch the ads. You know, I just say you have to make this campaign structure, you have to change your ads, you have to make this, this, and that. And yeah, most of my expertise is in the creatives today.
And then what? Because I think you probably went through the same thing I did, but like, why haven't you started an agency? Because I had an agency, and to be honest, I was burned out in the end. After 5 years, like, of getting calls from clients at Sunday at 8 o'clock, and we need something for tomorrow at 7 a.m. and and it's like, well, it's Sunday, like I can't do. It's great that you saw this and you just came up with this, but like I'm not gonna call everyone and have it ready for tomorrow when it's Sunday, and it can be really tiring. Why did you stay on the consulting side and not on the agency side? And I think this is a good conversation because like you probably
Definitely yes. I mean, agency business is hard because as you mentioned before, it's like you will get burnout, yeah. And for me as a consultant or before, it was like freedom was my highest thing ever. I want to be free everywhere. I had this one idea when I was 14. I wanted to put my whole life just into one backpack, and that's actually what I did in 2019. I was traveling around the world with just my laptop and made this digital nomad lifestyle. I don't like actually this word because it sounds like I'm a broke one who makes copies on Fiverr for $50 or something like this. Nothing bad on it, but for me it was not the right one. So yeah, for me the biggest thing was freedom in any way. And yeah, today it changed a little bit. For me it's okay because I live now here in Barcelona. I love what I do, and I start now to recruit also people. I'm looking currently for a videographer, for example, and we also want to do some done for you stuff, but we want to make it on the creative side, not on the technical part, which is with Facebook and so on. We don't want to make the ads, but we want to make the videos and the material for that.
And do you think it's becoming like it's one of the reasons why you're moving more on the creative side? Because one, there's a lot of people providing like Facebook ad services, and also Facebook is just, I feel like they're automating everything and making it just like boop, boop, done, right? And what ends up mattering more is, do you have a good ad? Like, do you understand your market? Does your offer make sense? Is that why you're moving more towards the creative side? And do you think there's more value there than on the technical aspect of actually like going into Facebook and running the ads themselves?
Definitely. So this is the most important thing. In all of my speeches, I'm saying that the product is 50%. I mean, I will give you now the best answer in marketing ever. It depends, because in marketing most of the things are depending on other things. So first of all, your product is like 50%. If you have a good product, I'm sure your creative is in that point is not so important, because you will be profitable. And I can say that because I have a client, for example, he's always clicking on boost post, you know, right at the bottom. And, you know, every Facebook pro will tell you, don't do that, because that's the worst thing you can do. But he's running his campaigns with a ROAS of 3 approximately. And he was coming to me and was like, hey man, there must be more, because I have now a ROAS of 3.0. I want to have more. And I saw his creatives and I was like, you make a 3.0 ROAS with that? I mean, that's horrible. Nobody will buy your product. It's like total stupid shit. And yeah, then we made really cool creatives, and we was scaling up on a ROAS of 5, 6, and sometimes 7. So this is the biggest lever, I would say. And I say the creative is 40%. And the last 10% is your targeting and stuff like that, because in 2020, 21 and up, your creative is your targeting, because the algorithm is super smart of Facebook. I mean, all of us know that, feel that today, and it's not super important to make the perfect targeting. A few days ago, by the way, I had a conversation with a friend, with an old friend, and he was like, I don't know why I try everything, but I didn't find the right targeting for me. And I was like, man, it's not your targeting, it's your creative is shit and your product is shit. So the targeting doesn't matter. And for me, optimization is to optimize optimal things. But on the other side, you have to say that this, I mean, the product is 50% creative, 40 technical stuff, 10%. It's not in every case. I mean, for example, if you have a big brand, and I'm helping some big brands, there it's not so important to have the greatest creative on earth. I mean, it's a very important thing in any way, but if you have a good brand, a good name, and that's the sad truth, you can do whatever you want and it will work. Yeah, and in that case, you need just a good campaign structure, and then it will work fine.
Yeah, I think that the whole creative thing is sometimes images that you think are not going to work, and you're like, oh, this is ugly. Like, we've had clients as well where we're like, this is silly, like this is not going to work, and you're like, holy crap, like this is the best campaign. Like, you know, this image that was like shitty versus like all the other ones that were super creative, and this one's the ones that's like working, and you're like, why? I have no idea. Do you think when you're scaling at, so because I think when you're starting, I agree that it's more of a creative product side. But as you start scaling campaigns, do you think you do need to be more technical, or is it still a creative issue? Like when you're going from, you know, spending 1,000 to 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 a month, or even like if you split it on like daily budgets, is it more technical? Like, do you need more of a technical skill as you scale, or is it still the creative side, the ones that drives the scale, or the scalability of like increasing your ad spend and keeping ROAS where you need to keep them?
If you want to scale, my experience is not to make more campaigns or just more budget on one campaign. I mean, that's also a thing. But the other thing is you have to make more creatives then, because the people will see you. I think the thing is, I recommend all the people, you have to make broad targeting. And they're like, yeah, but my product is not broad. It's not for everyone. And I'm saying, okay, Facebook is not delivering you everyone. Facebook is making the targeting when you make a broad targeting, for example. And the thing is, when you are going out with your creative or your product, Facebook will understand very fast who is your targeting, and they will show them all the time your creatives, for example. And of course, with one creative, you will get a few of the low-hanging fruits who are interested in the message you are telling in one creative. But maybe you need a second creative to get the other low-hanging fruits. It's not in general that you can catch all the low-hanging fruits with just one ad. So the people have to see you many, many times in different ads, and then they will buy after a while. So that's actually also a very important thing for scaling the campaigns. And also, the message you are communicating, because sometimes I hear the people, they are saying like, for me images are working better, videos are not working so good. I think when you are in a low scale with pictures, you have a good chance to get a lot of clients. But when you want to scale really, really big, you need a high qualitative video.
And then how many creatives do you think someone, like a new campaign, needs to have at least? Like, is it 2, is it 3, is it 4? Like usually, what do you usually do?
Yeah, 20 up to 25. In general, I say not all the people are able to make that much ads. So the minimum is you have to make 10. And you have to make different ads. And I mean, Facebook for me, it's like you can do so many things. You can make poll ads, you can make 360 ads, you can make 360 pictures as an ad. I mean, it's super cool and nobody is using that. Poll ads are making the interaction rate much, much higher. You can also do that in Instagram, for example, when you choose the manual placement and just the story, and you can put there also a poll. Many people didn't know that you can use that in an ad. But if you make the hook on a manual placement, you can do that, for example. Or story carousel. A lot of people are not knowing that when you choose manual, the manual placement, and you click on Instagram stories and you put there a carousel, you have a carousel with 3 cards, or now you can make more than 3 cards, for example. And there are so many things you can do. You can do a video ad. Collection ads are super good. Since a few days you can make collection ads and stories also in Instagram stories. So there are so many things, and you can easily make 20 up to 25 creatives. Or I would say ads. It's not just the creative, but it's the combination of the technical part, how you are using a creative in your ads.
Yeah, so you're not necessarily saying like you need 10 different images, but just adapt those images to the different placements. So you're not saying like, you know, you're not saying figure out or figure out like 10 different images, but just obviously have different ones, but adapt them to the different placements and also the different dynamics that the platform has for you.
Definitely, yes. And you also have to make a lot of split testings. For example, when you have a video, for me the most important split test ever is to split test your pattern interrupts. The first 3 seconds are the most important seconds. More important than the first 3 seconds is the first second, of course. And because I know it from Germany, and a German guy is scrolling approximately 173 meters a day. That's high as the Sagrada Familia here is. And that's a lot. I mean, we want to get a lot of impressions, and we are scrolling faster and faster. And that's the thing. You have to stop the people in the first second. So it's really important to use catchy colors like red, yellow, and stuff like that. And also, for example, the thumbnail. I mean, the thumbnail didn't cost you work, so you have to do it definitely. And the pattern interrupt. So you can change, you have one video, but you have 4 or 5 different pattern interrupts you are testing. And that's the most important thing, because that's the first thing which is stopping the user on your ad, for example.
And then for the 10 or the 20 images that you, or 10 creative or 20 creatives that you mentioned, what happens with people who have small budgets? And I have 2 questions there is, people who are starting with small budgets, do you still recommend doing so many creatives and so many variations, or do you start with less variations? And 2 is, if you have small budgets, do you still recommend using broad audiences? Or should you target smaller because you don't have enough money for Facebook to actually test and optimize and figure out which users work best, but you actually want to go smaller because your budget is just limited?
Yeah. What we are doing also with high budgets, not with just with low budgets, is we are not using broad targeting from the first day. We are using, for example, of course, lookalikes. Sometimes if you have a value-based lookalike from Shopify, you can download it, upload it. I mean, that's a super thing you can do. But for me, also you have the big pool of Facebook users, for example, and you put just one interest into it. And you know, below the interest, you can click on the button, and then there you see recommendations from Facebook, and you will wondering because they are very precise. You're thinking like, wow, that's exactly what I want. So the algorithm, there you see that the algorithm is very clever. So you have to expand your targeting with a little check mark there down below. And from that point, you are putting the check mark on it. It works a little bit like a lookalike, or it's a broad targeting more or less. But you are telling in the whole pool of users, you are telling Facebook, start here and then work around. Find the other people who are interested in that. So we are giving the algorithm a little touch in the right direction, and we are telling like Facebook, do your job in that direction, and that's more or less our targeting. But after a while, when it works good, we are killing the targeting. So that's for small budgets also a good thing to use, definitely, and not use too many creatives, especially not to use too many creatives in dynamic creatives, because many people I know, they are using 3 pictures, 3 titles, 3 texts, but how many different ads is this? Because it's not 3, 3, 3, but it's 3 high 3, you know? So you have much more ads at the end, and if you have a little budget, it will not work. So if you have a little budget, start with just 1 ad and make that ad very, very good.
Yeah, I think that's a good option as well. And also like start with 1 good ad and maybe do 1 or 2 variations with the same image, adapt it to the formats like you mentioned, and not go crazy with 20 ads and then you're spending like, yeah, I don't know, $3 a day, and that's just not going to do like anything. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you is, how do you market yourself? Because I've seen that you have like the CTR program or accelerator, and then you have your name. For people who are working in the industry and you know, they're not just about like doing an agency or doing consulting, but also like building a personal brand. Do you think it's more important to do personal brand or actually build a brand around your services, products, yourself, and grow that? Because I've seen you're doing like a little bit of both, and I don't. And what do you recommend, I guess, and what's your strategy there?
I make consulting now for many years, but now I'm popping up a little bit because I started to make my personal brand, you know. And the thing is, in my opinion, I would say you have to start definitely with a product. And first, when you have a source where you can get leads from, for example, and you have a good, you can sell your product, for example, I think a lot of things will come automatically with your personal brand. So if you give the people really good value and if you sell a really good product, you will get a lot of followers, for example, on Instagram or something like that. And later, a little bit later, you have to make definitely something for your personal brand, like for example, like interviews like this, or speeches or stuff like that, to become a personal brand. That's my idea of it. And in Germany we say marketing is a little bit like when you are asking a woman for a date, and branding or personal brand in that case is when the woman says, yes, I will go with you, you know. And so I think it's a really, really important thing to have a personal brand and to make that kind of branding. And but actually you have to start with a product first. We are seeing that also in e-commerce a lot of times. The people are like, when we have high spendings on a product which is not working first, at the beginning, the people from the marketing there are like, okay, we see the ROAS is now increasing, so now the algorithm knows who are the people we are looking for and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, that's bullshit. It's just because the people saw you now 7 or 10 times, and they see now that the best friend of me are wearing my socks or the pants you are selling. So after a while you are becoming to a brand, but first you are starting with a product. And when you have a lot of budget, you are spending a lot of budget, you have also this kind of branding effect after a while.
Do you use a lot of user-generated content for your marketing? Like go out and get testimonials and like promote people to post pictures and on Instagram and stories and this and that, and then use that on your ads? Or is that, because I've seen that works really well as well. And those are the type of ads where like sometimes you look at those videos and I don't know, they're not the best, right? But they work just because if you're scrolling on your story, it's like, it looks like a normal video. It doesn't look like an ad. So people tend to watch it and click on it.
Yeah. First of all, favorite answer in marketing, it depends on what you are working with, of course. But yes, I definitely say that user-generated content is the best thing you can do. For example, testimonials, recommendations, when people give you reviews on Google, on Amazon, on stuff like that, that is working super, super good. And also what you said before, for example, when you are swiping in the stories, and you see every fifth or every fourth story is sponsored, yeah, and you see this kind of hard contrast. For example, you see your picture of your friend with a hashtag and stuff like that. The second one, you see also something with the hashtags with this typically text of Instagram, and you see four of them, and then there is a super hard commercial one. It will not work super good because the contrast is too big. But I call it the sponsored friend, for example. When I make a selfie video of myself and I put there the text with the Instagram font, for example, and I'm saying like, hey, do you guys want to know how to make blah, 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 swipe up. And the people will not realize in the first second that you are a sponsored ad because they are just thinking, hey, who's this guy? I didn't realize that I followed him. And in that moment, it's too late because I got their attention. So that's the thing you can use with user-generated content also for Instagram stories.
And then how do you, what sort of strategies do you do with your clients or when you're consulting to get that content? Because I think that's one of the biggest struggles I've seen businesses in that. It sounds great, right, to get user-generated content, but then they're like, all right, but how do I do it? Like, how do I actually get to people to promote my products, or even sometimes realize that there's people promoting the products, but because there's no hashtag, no anything, I can't even find it. Like, I don't even know where that content is.
It's funny that you ask that because many of my clients didn't open their own eyes, because the thing is like they have thousands of clients and they are saying like, but where can we get these testimonials from? And I was like, man, you have everything for you in front of your feet. I mean, you have over 1,000 clients, and that the best people who can give you a real review are people who is buying before your product. So you can ask them, and you will see a lot of them will do it for nothing. You don't have to give them money, for example. But the other thing is like you can give them another product because when they are still a fan from your previous product, for example, you give them for free an upsell, and you say, make for both of these products please a testimonial for me. Would you do that? Okay, let's go. And I mean, you have thousands of clients, you have an email, you can make an easy email newsletter, for example, and send it to maybe 20 or 30 of your clients, and you will see you will get a lot of response. And if it's not working because your clients are not motivated enough, you can give them Amazon like a voucher of Amazon or something like this, and the people will do a lot of stuff for that. You will see.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you that, like, do you recommend starting with no giveaways, and then if that doesn't work, then figure out like not a sponsorship, right, but like some sort of prices that you can give out to people for them to actually do the testimonials and start generating content, but start free first and then move into paid?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good thing. I mean, everyone who owns a company knows his clients and how they are working. So you have to decide, what you want to do. But if you are working in your client base, I would say it's definitely a good idea to work with giveaways and stuff like that. But never do that in prospecting. In my experience, is not the best idea to make giveaways for getting testimonials or stuff like that. It will not work so good.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. Like, work on your customers, and also I think a lot of people, and I make that mistake as well, like you forget and you're always trying to get more clients when you realize that you're probably the best way for you to increase your average order value or your ticket sale is just to sell to your current clients. Like, they already know your product, they already know who you are. You don't have to go through the whole, customer journey and like all the different stages and like
Yeah.
if you build a good product and you gave a good service, most likely there's a bigger chance that they'll buy from you, and that's cheaper than trying to go out and find new clients and just focus on yourselves, I guess. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, and a couple of last questions, and we'll go to questions from people, is, are you thinking of building your own products? And I think this is something that I get asked a lot, and I question myself a lot of like, man, I'm spending all this money consulting to clients, helping them grow their businesses. Should I just build my own product or brand or products under a brand? Is that something you've considered and a route you think it's worth pursuing versus, because you have the three routes that I see usually. It's like agency, consulting, go work for a marketing company, or say, all right, I'm just going to, do drop shipping or build my own products. What are pros and cons, I guess, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, many people are thinking they have to decide what they want to do until their whole life, for example, but it's a journey. And of course, when the people are starting new, I recommend make drop shipping, make affiliate marketing, but the most easy thing to get a lot of experience is go in an agency and work as a media buyer for that. I mean, you will not get that much money as a performance marketer, but you will never become a performance marketer if you have no experience. So of course it's a very important thing to start with that. Or you can use this kind of shortcut I've used. I was a performance marketer, for example, and I was working with another agency. It was like, okay, you guys make email marketing, I can make Facebook marketing, so let's make a deal. If you have clients who want to make Facebook marketing, let's do it together. We do it with your name, for example, but I just want to have a new testimonial for me, and I want to collect experience and earn a little bit of money. So that's a good thing you can start with. But later, when you try to make a real serious business, you have to decide if you make an agency business, it's a business by itself, or you have to make an own product, for example. But I say it's not important to have an own product, because we had also good affiliate marketing deals where we had good contracts and which worked really fine. So you have a good partner there, and then of course you didn't need that.
And I like that approach, because you're not committed to the client, in the sense that you're doing the consulting work, but at any time you can be like, all right, guys, this is my last month, and you leave, which is very different than going to a client and saying, all right, guys, I don't want to work with you guys anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. I think that's a big part to do. And then the last thing is, I saw that you got certified, and that's the other question I always get is, with your experience, who should get certified, and what's the best way to get certified, I guess?
I think everyone has to get certified by Facebook Blueprint, because I mean, it's the first thing you can do to promote yourself, for example, to put that on your landing page to get trust. It's the most easiest way, and it's also a way to test yourself. And actually you will learn a lot of things. For example, a lot of things I'm communicating in the CDR Accelerator you will learn also from Facebook, and they make a lot of good stuff with a blueprint right now. You just have to read that, because I see a lot of people who are buying course over course over course from all that Facebook gurus to learn how to make the right audience and stuff like that. But actually Facebook has a lot of stuff there in the blueprint you can learn from. So I think there are many things good on this certification. Also, many of you guys will know that Facebook sometimes block your account or stuff like that, and you can send a review to them, and you can say, hey, I'm certified by Facebook, I know the policy and I know everything, so please check if I made something wrong or stuff like that. And in my experience, you will get your accounts much faster back. I'm not sure if Facebook is looking exactly on your trust badge that you have the certificate, for example, but I think it's definitely like this, because I get always my accounts very fast back when I send them my certificate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important that I always tell people that it's algorithms that block your account, but it's human beings who approve it, like who reactivate it. And you want to make their life as easier as possible and give them the more information you give them and the easier their job of like, all right, they're certified, they understand the policies. They're doing the right job. They have a verified account. They have this, they have that, approve it. Versus someone who just goes in and says like, complains about it and is mad about it, like you're not gonna win that fight against Facebook. And I think that I also don't know if being certified like helps you or not. It's hard to say, but I can say that for me it's the same thing. Like I've gotten my account blocked, and I think having the certification just proves to them that you know more than the typical person, I guess, or at least a little more,
Yeah.
than the typical advertiser, and it's just easier for them to approve or reapprove your account. And I guess a couple last question is last thoughts on people starting a career in digital marketing or agencies. Where should they start, I guess? And what's the best way to start?
Yeah, for me, actually, as I mentioned before, the best thing you can do is to start in an agency, because when you are, for example, when you do affiliate marketing, I mean, it takes a lot of time in any way. So if you have a main job, it's a little bit difficult to make also affiliate marketing very professional. So to get the right jump from it, I recommend to start in an agency or in a cooperation with an agency. But if you don't want to do that, I mean, I understand that. For me, it will never be a good idea for me personally. So start with affiliate marketing, for example, or start with drop shipping to get the first little touches with Facebook ads to learn how it works. And later you can decide to make a bigger, more serious business, I would say. Because you all guys know, when you make drop shipping, for example, Facebook didn't like that much, because they want to have a higher user experience for other people, and they try to restrict a little bit the drop shippers and affiliate marketers. So for the first tries, it's super good to make that, but later you can decide then what you want to do.
Awesome. So we have two questions. One is, so a digital nomad is a no-go. Why not?
For me, digital nomad, or
Yeah.
what do you mean? No, it's just a personal thing that I'm saying. I'm not a digital nomad, because for me it's like I mean, it's a little ego thing. I'm just say that for a joke. It's a good thing to be a digital nomad if you can make your money. For example, when you are writing copies for other people, or you building websites or stuff like that. But most of the real digital nomads are not performance marketer who make millions of millions. So if you want to run a real entrepreneurship, if you want to have a real big company and you want to grow that, to make that real serious, I think you need a base. I think you need people around you. You need employees. Doesn't matter if they are on remote or if they are with you in your office. And if you want to make it really, really big, I think you need not to be a digital nomad, for example. Yeah.
And then another question is, you mentioned hiring. Do you hire local, or now with the global pandemic, like, are you outsourcing to different countries as well?
To different countries, not. I try to hire local. I want to have the people here, because I want to make this kind of creative ping pong. I want to talk every day with the people, and I like what happens between the chairs and tables when you talk. When you have your lunch, for example, or stuff like that, because there you are getting the energy to create new things. And especially in my case, when you make creatives, you need someone where you can make this creative sparring, I would say, and to get new ideas. So you have to talk shit, and that's really important for that. And you cannot do that when you make that on remote. You are not the whole day in a Zoom call with your employees and talking shit and making stuff like that. So to get real fun and this creativity, you have to talk to the people. But I think today you can also systemize a lot of things. For example, if you are using HubSpot, my sales people are sitting in Germany, It's also my agency, but there's also a CEO who's looking on the people if they make their work right and stuff like that. But yeah, you can automate and systemize a lot of things today with CRM like HubSpot or stuff like that, or Trello, for example. There are many tools you can use for that.
Yeah, I think that you make a good point, and I agree with you. The whole office dynamics gets lost on Zoom. Like Zoom works well for like a meeting, but it's very awkward to socialize on Zoom. Like let's hop on Zoom and let's just talk for fun. Like it's very hard to have that dynamic on a Zoom call where on lunch it's, you know, it happens like naturally, and especially with creative stuff. That ping pong creativity that you know of, it's so important. Otherwise, it just won't happen.
Yeah, that's true. The people are asking me now when I'm hiring, can I work from the home office? And I'm like, sure, you can work from the home office, but I mean, when you want to take your work from 5 p.m. to your home to make it until 7 p.m. or something like that, for me it's not a problem. Or if you are telling me, hey, the next 3 days I'm traveling to Switzerland or stuff like that, and I want to take my work with me, okay, let's do it for 3 days, no problem. But to work the whole time on remote, for me personally, is not the best thing. I think it's to get this kind of dynamics, as I mentioned before, it's important to have the people here.
And then how can people get in touch with you, sign up for more info for your program, for the CTR Accelerator, and just follow you? What's the best way to reach you?
I think the best way is definitely Instagram, because it's the only platform I'm answering personally in this time, and I answering very fast because I think I'm a little bit addicted by this platform. And so if you try to reach me,
it's more Instagram.
I love Instagram. I really like it, and now I try to build followers there, because all the years before I didn't focus there on that, but now we are starting to make also the Instagram stuff, bringing content there and stuff like that. So if you have questions, guys, I make all the days this Q&A sessions, and you can ask me there everything what you want, of course, via DM. And if you're interested in the CTR Accelerator, text me, and then we can talk.
Awesome. No, thanks for your time. I think we had a really good tips in terms of like, you know, the whole agency route versus consulting route. I really like the, you know, 50% product, 40% creative, and then targeting technical. And then how I agree with you of like focus on the creative side. I think that Facebook is making things much easier and automating everything, and not needing for you to become like a Facebook expert. Like just know the basics and start investing. And then also the variations of like, it's not about having 10 different images, but just adapt it to different placements. I think that was great. And user-generated content as well. I think that those are all good tips that I think people should take and start implementing in their business or with their clients, and applaud you as well for all the changes and taking the leap of faith in yourself. I think not a lot of people do it. And in traveling for a year and then saying like, all right, I'm going to start something else. And not a lot of people do that. So good job on that. Good luck on everything. And thanks again for your time.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun, and I hope we'll see you soon.
Yeah, no, thanks. Have a good week. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yes, good night. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.